Good Friday afternoon, evening, or wherever you may be. Victor, you're here.
Hey, I'm here. Yes, why wouldn't I be?
Well, the question was, why was I not going to be here?
You were just in time.
I was just in time today. So, hi, by the way. Just in case you don't know who we are, my name is Darren Pope, and this over here is Victor Farsick, and we are the co-host of a podcast called DevOps Paradox. And on Fridays, we do this live stream ever since about April 2020. I probably should go back and count the number of live streams we've done. I haven't kept up with that. But, I've lost track. We started new shows. We've done other things. I should do my job. Is what I should be doing.
Count shows. Since when is that your job, to count them?
I don't know. I do know that I have my drink with me, and it's time for the weekend. Except I still have. What do you have today? Coca-Cola?
Coke, yeah.
Okay.
It's winter. I cannot drink alcohol when it's cold.
But if it's below 90, it's cold to you, right? No, what would it be?
I don't know what
25, 30, 25 to 30.
If I'm not comfortable in short sleeves outside the house, I'm cold.
It's cold. Okay. Anyway, let's get into this week's news. Figure out what this works. Hang on a second. Let's see. Let's work on that. This will work, right? There. Hey, that worked. Okay, good. Trying new tools. I figured, hey, let's try them. It's Friday. Why not go ahead and just do it all live? The podcast this week was an interesting one. Victor was deep into KubeCon preparation when we recorded this one, and didn't make it for the beginning. He showed up at the end, but we had a guest on, and I didn't want to reschedule him because it had taken a while to get him in. So, how to manage a remote team. This guest was a bit different than previous guests. This guy was is an organizational psychologist. Again, it's interesting information if you are in management or if you're a team lead of some sort and you had never had to deal with remote teams prior to the 18 months ago. How long have you been fully remote?
Oh, man. I don't know, 10 years?
Yeah. Yeah, 2005. Yeah, I started partially remote in 99 and fully remote in 2005. So for me, it's 16 years. So to me, remote is just remote. It wasn't a big deal to me to transition, but for a lot of people, that was a big deal. So it's, I thought it was a pretty good episode. You probably haven't had time to listen to it yet.
No, not yet. Not yet.
Okay. You should.
I've
had some comments about it. So I think it was just because it was different. And next week's episode is going to be good. It's actually already all done. Like done. That doesn't mean I get it shipped. It's queued and ready to go as of 6 a.m. Eastern on Wednesday morning. But I still have a lot of work to do.
It's not done until it's in production.
Not into production. So it's waiting behind the gate, if you will.
That's not done.
That's not done. So what is it? So it's done. It's just not done.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Speaking of done. CNCF is moving Longhorn to graduate it.
Very good. It's very good news. Rancher folks. No, that's SUSE, right? Must be thrilled.
Yeah.
Job well done.
Yeah. So, or wait, did I misread that? Hang on a second.
So it's incubation. Okay.
It's incubation.
That
All right.
makes sense.
My bad.
I thought that I was going crazy for a second. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought they were GA, or there's so many levels here. Why couldn't they have just used alpha, beta, and GA? Did they have to be different? Okay. I won't bang on it too hard. But this is interesting because the only other... Here, do I dare do this? Do I dare...
CNCF landscape.
Yeah.
Your computer might explode. You have still the old computer, right? It will not be able to handle.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, here, I need to look at here. Okay. This is actually much better than it used to be. But if we were to take a look, and let me get back here to landscape. I like this landscape to where you can pick what you want. So if we go back and look at incubating, then what we have is Longhorn and Rook.
Yeah.
So Rook is the only graduated, and now Longhorn is incubating.
Yeah, Rook has been
A long time.
Long time. I mean,
Yeah.
long time, like 5, 6 years, 7, something like that.
Well, it hasn't been graduated for that long, but it's been graduated for quite a while.
It exists as
Yeah,
a project
it's been around.
for longer than Longhorn. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but it's still interesting. I want to turn this back off here for a second. Those are the only graduated projects.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's complicated and it takes a lot of time to graduate. It's really, really complicated.
To me, the scary thing is people are betting their lives as users of this sometimes on sandbox projects.
Yeah, it really depends on what is the problem you're solving, right? If it's a problem already solved by 1 or 2 projects that are graduated, then it's questionable. You would need to see a lot of advantages to use something that is still sandboxed, right? On the other hand, there are sandbox projects that are simply solving problems that are not solved in projects that are graduated, and then you have no choice, right? You pick the most stable option, and if the most stable option that does what you need to do is sandbox, then that's what it is.
Well, it's sort of like having to use the beta APIs in the manifests because that's all there was. So,
and also, a project cannot move from sandbox to incubating and incubating to graduated without confirmed users, real users of that project. So, if nobody uses a sandbox project, that project will never become into the incubation stage. That's how it is.
yeah.
Somebody has to do it.
Yep. So again, congratulations to the Longhorn team on getting to incubating. I moved you to graduated too fast. I apologize. But maybe this will help speed it up for them, right? I don't know what the level of effort is to go from incubating to graduated. Do you feel like it's going from sandbox to incubating is harder than going from incubating to graduated?
No, incubated to graduated is hard.
It's harder.
Yeah.
Okay.
Typically, so if Longhorn just entered incubation, then they have years ahead until they graduate, and years ahead if they do everything right.
That sounds scary, but
I mean, it makes sense, right? Otherwise, if there is no good criteria and if it's not hard, then it will be pointless to have, incubation sandbox graduated, right? Those levels would be meaningless if anybody can jump from one level to another in a week or a month.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. So let's move on to a little bit of news from GKE. Specifically for Autopilot, they now have the concept of spot pods. This is Autopilot only, though.
Yeah. That's really nice.
I mean,
especially
the obvious...
since it's on an expensive side, the Autopilot itself. Huh?
Right. So the main use case is for... They had a better word for it. I'm going to say transient workloads. Think, CI type processes or something that can be restarted easily. But you can save between 60 and not just 90, but 91% of your costs. That could add up like really fast.
Yeah. I mean, if you run stateless applications and you run them, and you run multiple replicas, more than one, let's say at least 3 replicas, then spot instances are potentially a good solution. I mean, Google might shut down one of those pods, right? But if you have others, then it shouldn't be a problem.
Correct. And it's pretty easy to define. You just give it GKE Spot true, and you get up to 25 seconds, which is nice. Or at least you have a little bit of a warning. So if you can make it clean, then go for it.
Yeah, 25 seconds is more than enough for a majority of cases.
Correct.
You're not going to do something like machine learning that pods that take, to begin with, they wouldn't work because they're not stateless. But even if they would, you're not going to run a Spot instance, something that takes hours.
Correct. Right. Yeah. Javadan, good to see you. So I think this is interesting. I'm curious to know if this is going to end up just available for GKE. I wonder if they could actually expand it to that point or not. I don't know.
You mean to GKE without Autopilot?
Yeah.
I mean, you can already. I mean, you can use Spot VMs instances.
Spot VMs, right? But could I? Well, I guess it is the same then.
Yeah, because
it's just extending it. Yeah.
Without Autopilot, you're getting VMs. You're not getting pods.
That's true.
Now, what are your pods in your cluster? That's a separate story, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So this, I guess, was the extension going the other way. They had no concept of Spot within the managed, because this is fully managed, right?
Exactly.
We consider this fully managed.
You have no option to say, give me Spot VM, because you have no option to request a VM in the first place.
Right. So Spot pods. What would be this next step beyond Spot pods? Is there anything?
More discount.
Yeah. More discounts. Okay. Moving from GCP over to AWS. They announced the AWS Resilience Hub. Big words for chaos as a service. So they have resilience targets for RTO, recovery time objective, and recovery point, RPO. And it will automatically discover applications. It will do all the things for you automatically, just not for free. And it's also integrated with Fault Injection Simulator, so you can do fault injection with recovery.
Nice.
And if you want to try it out, nice quick little stack that you can test it out with. It is currently free. They charge by application. But it was like $5 or $15 a month per application. It was cheap from that perspective.
As long as it's not as long as that is per instance of an application, not a replica.
I believe it is an instance of. So, and I don't know how deep it is, but it's available in the typical East, West, APAC, Singapore, Tokyo, Ireland, and Frankfurt. So again, this was sort of day one type stuff. It is $15 per application per month. You can try it free for 6 months for up to 3 applications. That's a pretty good way to test out to see if it actually works.
Yeah. So. Exactly. I mean, if it's $15 per application, that might be considerable cost when you run it at scale for a whole company. But if I need to try something and trying that something is going to cost me $15, then that's just as good as being free almost.
Yeah. So the link to this, in fact, the links to everything will be down in the description of the video probably later this afternoon. My time, Eastern, anyway. For many of you, you'll be asleep by the time I get it done. So anyway, Resilience Hub. Another GCR thing that came out this week, GA-wise. You can now reference Secrets Manager secrets within Cloud Run.
That's really good.
This was preview really, before, really but now it's GA.
Yeah.
Again, we were just talking about Autopilot and Spot pods. But I would be hard-pressed to use Autopilot compared to GCR. If I'm just writing an application...
Stateful applications.
Stateful application, that's That's fine. That's the primary use case. Why would I do it otherwise? I can't think of a reason, especially since it's fully managed.
Yeah.
GCR is fully managed. So now I guess potentially is if I need the spots. Right now, Spot can make it a differentiator.
And also, it's easier to make, if you have a large system with many applications, it's simply easier to manage the communication between all those applications when they're all together in the same cluster.
That's true. But they actually made that simpler in GCR a while back.
No, it is simpler.
Yeah.
I forgot how they call the feature, but
yeah, it was a new, but that's been reasonable. That was like 3-4 months ago, I think. I don't remember the name of it though. Let's see. We'll just, since we're here, see if it pops up. I don't see it right now, so I won't go digging through that. So, secrets. You can scale it to 0. You can now have 16 gigs of RAM. Do you need?
So that's where we're going. That's a glimpse of the future. That's that whole story about Kubernetes disappearing.
But GCR isn't Kubernetes. We'll move on.
It's not, but it's based on basically, it's as if it is, really.
Yes.
For all purposes, it's as if there is Kubernetes.
Okay. CloudQuery was a company this week. They I think they did a round of 3 million or something, 35 million.
Okay.
And it's good, right? It's good Taco Bell money or Chipotle money. What would be fast casual over in Spain?
What would be what?
Fast casual food. So fast casual is like...
I mean, we have McDonald's.
That's fast food. That's fast food. That's my preference. But anyway.
Yeah, there is no fast. In Spanish dining, there is no concept of fast.
Fast. Okay.
That's the thing.
So what caught my eye was a couple of things here. It's policy as code, so you can codify your security and compliance rules. But it's all based on SQL, specifically Postgres. And I'm still like scratching my head. 3.5 million. So I knew it was 3. I knew there was a 3 and a 5. I just couldn't remember where the 3 and 5 were. So it gives you options for AWS. So I want to find all the AWS load balancers. You just use a query to find all your internet-facing load balancers. Or if you're using compliance, you can check to see if things are compliant or not. And you can query across clouds, which was very interesting to me because this is showing AWS and Okta. And right now they've got just a handful of AWS, GCP, Azure, Kubernetes, Okta, and then Yandex as a community contribution. And the way you can look these things up, they have a hub. And of course, that's on a different domain that zooms in. And I'll click to AWS here for a second. You can init it, and then you can go through all the different things that are available for you. If you take a look at the schema, this is what I meant to go to. API gateway, API gateway, API keys, and these kinds of things.
So wait, it's all about basically being able to query cloud resources, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Using SQL.
Yeah, correct.
So it looks interesting. Now, they aren't the first one to do this. There are other companies that do this as well, but this team was able to raise 3.5 seed. Not bad. Hopefully they took like $200 and had fun with $200 of it.
It's a very high. Yeah, I mean, I'm honestly impressed with the seed money. I would not have guessed.
Yeah.
Let's
look at this real
seed
quick.
Would be that high.
Yeah, so this was on the 10th. So that was that last week? This week? That was this week. Huh.
Yeah.
It's a very interesting story. If you go through and read the why behind this is a pretty good story. And they are also on Discord if you want to go chat. So, but it still feels strange to me that it's SQL. I'm sorry. I get it.
Yep.
It's a natural language, but it still seems a little strange. Not in a bad way strange. It just seems strange in this day and age.
Kind of, that was my first impression, kind of like, why SQL? But on the other hand, what would it be? Right? When you think about it, if you want to make it simple,
yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Kind of what else can it be? PromQL, kind of how many people are willing to learn PromQL for the sake of this service, right? I mean, there are people obviously who know PromQL, but and so on and so forth. Kind of SQL is extremely simple. That's the advantage of it, really, because the use cases of SQL are simple.
Yeah. So congratulations to everyone at CloudQuery for, I said $200, maybe take $350. Since you got 3.5, take $350 and go have fun. I don't know how far $350 will go, but that's a safe number to spend. Let's talk about Manny. We talked about Manny back in August. And it's a CLI that helps you manage multiple repositories. So multi-project, microservices, whatever. You can clone multiple repositories in one command. That's sort of where it was at back in August. And you give it a Manny YAML and you talk about the different projects and the tasks and all the things. Pretty cool little tool. But they had a release this week. And it's up to 0.10. So now, ability to import projects, tasks, and themes. You can now run tasks in parallel per project. That wasn't there before. Subcommands to open editors at a line corresponding. I'm not going to read them all. But bottom line is, the developer experience went through the roof with this release.
It's basically they're bringing the benefits of monorepo into polyrepo, essentially.
Yeah. That is true. Yep. And I've got an idea that I'm going to do with this. Probably not this week, but for next week. I might do a video around this. Just because I'm doing a video this week about monorepos and Jenkins.
Oh, nice.
Oh, yeah. But we know in general that's not always a nice, comfortable thing.
Nope. I don't like it.
No, but the reason why a lot of people have monorepos is from the developer experience angle. But if I can simulate a monorepo with something like Manny, still keep it poly, then Jenkins is still super happy and not having to do weird things from a monorepo standpoint. Yeah. So make it work. So I've got to test that out to see if it will actually work or not. But I'm looking forward to this. So this just came out a couple of days ago. So congratulations to the team behind Manny, which I actually think, if I take a look at it again, is 2 people. So Samir and Kyle, congratulations. Why are you using JavaScript? But we'll move on from that.
3%. Don't complain. It's mostly Go.
It is mostly Go. Yeah, I bet
the JavaScript is for the website or something like that.
Probably, yeah. Because it's, I don't know. Well, they're using Go Releaser here. Funding him. Oh, anyway. Ooh, got an idea with that too. Okay, anyway, Manny. Take a look at it, especially if you're dealing with monorepo-like type things. Mob. Did this zoom out? I lost the zoom. Okay, so Mob. I saw this week. I don't remember where it was. But what triggered it for me is that it ended up on the ThoughtWorks technology radar.
Okay.
If something ends up on ThoughtWorks, then it's like, So
no. I'm curious because this does not look like a tool
ThoughtWorks
that can pay its own way into the radar.
Well, exactly.
I'm being evil.
Yes. So Mob gives you Git handover for remote pair mob programming. So they called it Mob, but it's really for remote pair programming. Mm-hmm. Here's the deal. Okay, careless. It's written in Go. What isn't today? Mob is the fastest way to hand over code via Git. We'll look at it in a second. It keeps your branches clean and only creates work in process commits on temporary branches. And it also has a shared team timer. Don't really understand that one yet, but whatever. So let's look at the picture here. So we're on main, and we go ahead and create a branch for mob main. So Corolla does a mob start, which creates the branch. Once that's done, mob next. So that then hands it off to somebody else. That then does a mob next, which does a start and then does a mob done, which does a squash, and then you can do the commit and push.
I'm kind of confused. How is that different from git clone, git push?
I don't think any of that's happening, not directly.
Okay.
So, again, I haven't set it up yet, and this would be one of those things to where I think we would have to actually do it to see what the difference is.
Yeah.
But you can install it all the normal ways, and there is a quick little. Well, it's not quick. I don't remember how long it was. I did watch this, but I don't remember how long it was. So it sets everything up. So it does a git fetch prune, a git pull. It joins a session, creates a quick branch, checks it out, sets the upstream. So it is still setting it to upstream. The people are working. So
nice.
So this okay. So here's the shorter example of what the flow was up top. Start. We create a file. Then we hand that off. Mob next takes care of pushing that out. So I'm not having to do all the commits and pushes and all the other stuff.
Exactly.
And then start, then it gets me right to where I need to be, and then I do my handoff, and then I do the final one till I'm done, and then I can actually finish it up.
Yeah. It's a nifty set of shortcuts, for multiple commands. Nice.
That's what it looks like. But then they go through this scenario here at the bottom too. They tell you what you should be doing. Say it out loud, steal the screen share, do all the things. You can set up some complementary scripts and whatever, all the aliases. I mean, they go to a really good extent of calling all these things out. But this timer thing, I'm going to go here. So here's a timer. So if I join that timer, there's 4 active users in there. And then I could export that, and it's going to give me whatever. There's audio, there's test audio, there's all sorts of stuff going on here.
Nice. Really nice.
So that is mob. Again, if it shows up on ThoughtWorks, it's very, very strange to me. Based on what I'm seeing.
I mean, congratulations for getting there, really. Because it definitely doesn't look like a type of tool that would ever get to trader. Not because it's a bad tool, just to clarify. This looks very, very interesting to me. But usually kind of like more bigger projects are in ThoughtWorks. But well done.
Right.
Well done.
So this is in this first paragraph, what people say about mob is from the technology radar. Yeah. And they explain it much better of what it means here. I'm not going to read it, but what people are saying here, great tool to organize remote working, quantum leap in our collaboration. The timer though, I'm still why they say the timer feature is a selling point, I don't understand. But anyway, mob. GetClear. I'd not heard of this company before, and it appears to be just a single person.
Okay.
But it's GetClear version 4 came out. And the reason why I thought it was interesting is now it's free for hobbyist developers. It's got the next version of their PR collaboration analytics, but it's got built-in DORA metrics and a lot of other things. So if you're concerned about that as a developer, DORA metrics specifically, now you can sort of track it all for you automatically. And even when you move to the Pro membership, you're talking $9 a month You're in GitHub pricing at this point.
Yeah.
So what was the big bump? Full automatically configured DORA integration, a new thing on pull requests, tech debt inspectors, which I saw a different one this week too. I didn't bring it in today, and other things too. So, but their big thing is now if you want to just use it as a developer, if I take a look at the pricing, it's $0 per month. It's personal use, so not business. Up to 3 repositories, pretty reasonable. Only 6 months of a window, that's fine. And up to 500 commits. Or 50 pull requests.
Nice.
If you're looking for some tooling, or if your small team is looking for some tooling and you're not averse to spending $10 per person, and you've been trying to figure something out for this might be something to look at. I mean, specifically, the big one here I thought was funny. We go from 6 months analysis to 3 years. Right? That's big. But then if you get the elite, which is only double the price and change, so basically 10, 20, and 30, you get 15 years, and then you have no time limit if you go to $30 a month.
Honestly, with 15 years, that's already the same as unlimited.
For most people, yeah, it is. And again, I think this is just a single guy. Based on what I saw, if we click on the About, now he may have contractors and those kinds of things, but there's only one person.
Well done.
Yeah, he started this back in 2008. But I don't know. So I can't really tell. Oh, GetClear is led by programmer CEO Bill Harding, so there's probably more people there. That's where I got messed up. But I thought it was pretty cool. Because this is a hard problem to solve, even though a lot of people try to solve it. And I haven't hooked up a repo to it yet. I've got one little project my wife is wanting me to work on, so I'm probably going to hook it up to that one, just to see how it works. Because I have a feeling that project's going to take me longer than I obviously think it's going to take. Since I'm already saying that out loud. Another tool that came out from Google yesterday was ClusterFuzzLite. Have you ever done any Fuzz development from a security perspective?
Or maybe I did without knowing what it is. I don't
No,
know
you
what's
probably
Fuzz
didn't.
Development.
So what fuzzing is, in general, is normally we write tests and we may do boundary tests. Right? So we have inputs to a method and we're expecting it to be 0 to 255. Right? What's that? A tiny int for most. Yeah. Right? So we would test 0, we would test 255, we'd pick a number somewhere in the middle, we'd probably do a -1 and a 256.
Yeah.
But we're probably not testing ABC. Or we're probably not testing emojis. Or the latest thing is the BIDI characters, BIDI characters, which is the new scary thing of the week. So that's what you can do with fuzzing. Fuzzing will just sit there and start generating random crap and throw it at whatever you told it to throw it at.
Oh, nice. Nice. I never did that. I did that with data, to be honest. Kind of randomizing data in a database for testing purposes, yes. But input parameters to say something, no, haven't yet.
Yeah, and even with your data, it was scoped to a set of data instead of whatever might be thrown at it. So ClusterFuzzLite, I actually tried to do some work with it yesterday, and it's been so long since I've done any kind of fuzz work, I had forgotten everything that I'd learned about it probably 10 plus years ago. Well, actually longer than that now. So I'm wanting to get into it again and test. I've got a few things I want to test, but I want to test it. The big thing, though, is they're adding in support for CI. So they've already got built-in solutions for GitHub Actions, Google Cloud Build, not surprisingly, and Prow. And I imagine everybody else is going to come in with their... Like, I actually got it running yesterday, not within Jenkins, but got it running just with a container image. So as a container image, I can do anything with it that I want to in Jenkins. So that's not a big deal. But again, this is interesting. But here's the most interesting thing. Does this name look familiar to you?
I know the name. But
okay. Well, how about right to the right of it?
I'm going to... Okay.
The author of curl.
I couldn't relate the name to anything else. Okay, now I get it. Yeah.
So
Nice.
they're using it. In fact, let me just go here for a second and zoom in and show you who's using it. Because, actually, I think it was on here. Did they? So it doesn't support all languages, but it supports a pretty reasonable amount of languages. Okay, anyway, I can't find the thing that I saw, but it was a fuzzing, whatever. Okay, so bottom line was, maybe it was in the document here, or in the SiliconANGLE. Curl was on that list. SQLite was on that list. You don't think much about these tools, but they're used everywhere. Everywhere. And if you can make it even more secure, why not? So, okay.
Really nice.
Yep. I want to check OSS Fuzz here real quick, because I think it came out a few years ago. So that's not it. Okay, never mind. I wish I could have seen that because it was like a logo page, but I can't find the logo page now. Let me try it one more time, because that might have just... Features, supported languages. No.
Nope.
Rats. Oh well. Okay. Another tool that came out this week was called Driftwood, and it's actually getting a lot of press right now, as of today. I found it before they did. It's a tool that allows you to look up whether a private key is being used out in the open. It's one thing to check in a API key. It's a whole other thing to type in or expose an SSH key. How many times have you used just a single key pair to do lots of different things?
Oh, all the time in the past.
It's sort of like using the same password over and over again for all your
Exactly.
sites. It's the same problem. So what you can do with Driftwood is it gives you the ability to search for exposed private keys. Not only that, you can also crack private keys.
So it is actually it is alerting me if I use the same key more than once, right?
Well, you can actually look it up. So it's actually being looked up to
Yeah.
keys that have been exposed.
Yeah.
So
That's
it
nice.
does a lookup. It does. So think of it like NS lookup or dig, but for private keys. So
Nice.
Driftwood, and it's from Truffle Security, which they open sourced it. So 4 days ago. All right. Okay. Not code, but code.
PNG.
Code PNG. So what you can do is you can paste in your code right here.
Okay.
And then you can define the background colors and what language it is that you want that it is. And then you can say which theme you want. And then you can download now whatever your sample code is as a PNG.
Can I see those one? Put that back.
Put this back.
You delete. Yeah. Download it. Let me see what
Okay.
are you getting.
So this is JavaScript. So let me get the right one. Let's make it that. So it's changing the background color.
Okay.
There's the theme. I'm going to go with Dracula just because it's a little darker, a little more contrast. And JavaScript. And that's it. So now if I click on download, which you don't see this, but I'm downloading it now. Save file. Actually, where did it go? There it is. I'm not sharing the right thing here. Give me just a second. Let me stop the screen. We're going to go back full screen here, and I am going to share my whole screen on that one so you can see. So now it's in preview. It should be coming up momentarily. There we go. So now here's the image. So now I could take this image and paste it into PowerPoint, Keynote, Reveal.js, wherever I need an image. Now I've got a cool looking image.
Okay, so basically it saves you from doing screenshots. I guess it could be useful if it's more than one screen or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing I haven't tried yet is I wonder how many... Well, you can go... Oh, dear. Okay, even if you could do that, why would you? I would probably put a top end on that. But codepng, codepng.app. So turn your code into awesome pictures. It is pretty. I will say that.
Yeah.
But so that's codepng. All right. And now we're up to Linkerd. You see, this is your first in a series of videos about Linkerd.
Yep. More to come.
How many more to come?
Whenever I say something that is more than a week in advance, I end up inventing things. I don't know. The thing is that I had a lot of subjects. I have a rule that I'm almost never covering things that depend on other things that I didn't cover. If that makes sense, right? So there are quite a few topics around progressive delivery and multi-cluster and a few others that require a service mesh. And so I thought at first, okay, let me use Istio, but then let's change something. Because most of my examples in the past were Istio. So that was kind of more as an intro or enabler for me to do some other videos. Because then I can say, hey, I already told you about Linkerd, now let's talk about this.
So it's another setup. This is the beginning of the next storyline, if you will.
Exactly.
Okay. And you don't know where the story's going to go yet.
I have no idea. At the best, I know what's coming next week. That's the maximum I know at any given moment.
That sounds familiar to me.
I mean, remember when we were doing books and courses? Even for books and courses, I had no idea what's coming more than a week in advance.
Not the details
for YouTube.
Not the details of it.
Yeah, kind of like, okay, so it's about, I don't know, chaos engineering. So I know that what's coming months from now is going to be chaos engineering. But what about it?
Don't know.
Don't know.
Yeah. That tends to make managers very uneasy, I think is the phrase I'm looking for. I can't give you the details.
Yes.
I don't know. I know where I'm headed. I know that I'm getting on the interstate and going west. But I can't tell you that I'm going to be there in 3 hours and 47 minutes. I can't. I just don't know.
That's why every time I was in a job interview, I always had, among other things, the same story. Hey, this will work out only if this potential endeavor is based on trust. Kind of like, don't ask me every day what I'm doing. Start yelling at me if I don't deliver something.
Or check to make sure you're still alive.
Exactly, kind of like if you see meeting after meeting that only cats in the background, then they might be eating a dead body.
That's true. So other than this is actually the interesting thing too. Linkerd, part of CNCF, going back to earlier today, graduated CNCF. Correct?
Is it graduated or incubation?
Let's see. Sure. I still have it up here, so I can tell you. It is graduated.
I cannot see here. Graduated, exactly. I mean, that's what makes Linkerd special. We can now argue for days whether Linkerd is better or worse than this or that, like especially Istio and maybe Kong. But hey, it's in CNCF, it's graduated. Even if it's in incubation, that's good enough for me. Kind of like incubation is also already good enough for me. And that was what distinguishes Linkerd from, let's say, Istio.
Right.
Doesn't make it better, just to clarify, but distinguishes it.
Yeah. Istio is fine, Kong is fine, Linkerd is fine. What matters to you? If you're looking for support of those three, you're probably going to lean towards Kong today, right? If support is a big deal to you.
Istio. Tetrate is making killer business on Istio.
Oh, that's true.
I mean,
Well,
they're not.
what I'm saying is,
there is no official kind of like company behind Istio,
right.
but they're as close as being enterprise Istio provider.
Right. So it would be those two versus Linkerd, right? Just to say it out loud.
Yeah, I don't know if there is a company behind Linkerd or not. That's curious.
Not sure either.
I need to check that.
Oh, okay. Well, good. You have homework and I don't. Well, actually, I have more homework than I can decide to do. So anyway, do you have any shows coming up this week or next week? Oh, you do.
I'm going to France, La France. I still don't know how I'm going to do that and where I'm going to end up because last couple of days I've been receiving a bunch of emails with instructions from organizers of a conference that I'm attending. They're all in French.
Oh. And you don't speak French?
No. I was about to say it's a French word, but I guess that must be the same. No.
No. You do speak English, Serbian, Spanish, correct? Those are your big three.
Yeah, I can defend myself in Catalan, yes.
Okay. So, French. But anyway, are you sure you're going to be able to leave the country? Can you leave the country?
You mean whether I'm on a wanted list or something like that?
No.
I know,
vaccine passports and all the other stuff you got to deal with.
Yeah, no, movement, I mean, it goes up and down, right? Kind of things can change by next week. But as far as I know, movement within Europe is now open.
Oh, okay.
Hey, I can even come to your country.
That's true, you can.
Recently. Since a couple of week ago or something like that.
About a week ago, I think, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I saw some people from Europe have come over to some meetings here in the States in the past week. So.
Yeah. Nah, and I'm coming in January.
I'll stay in my four walls. You're going to come in January?
Yeah.
For what?
LA.
What's in LA in January?
Team offsite.
Oh, team thing. Okay, all right. It's like,
Yeah.
there's no conferences in January in LA.
Not yet.
LA. Okay, well, good. Anything else? Do you want to wrap it up early today? So
we can wrap it up. I have no news.
You have no more news. Was there something? No, Crossplane was last week. 1.5 came out last week?
Yeah,
before
last week.
something. We talked about that last week, okay.
Yes. There will be huge news, Crossplane related abound, but you will need to wait for...
To wait.
8 days.
And I won't know either. Oh, 8 days?
7 days. 7.
Okay. So it's going to be before the U.S. holidays. That's good.
Just before, yeah.
Okay. That's always a great time to do an announcement, isn't it? Right before the holidays.
Yeah,
It's a joke.
It's going to happen at that time, whether we want to announce it or not.
There you go. Okay. Well then, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, go ahead and do that. Click on that subscribe button, ring the bell. And next week, even though you're in France, the plan is to still do an AMA on next Thursday on the DevOps Toolkit channel. That's the plan.
Correct.
The time is roughed in, but we're not going to announce it. It's roughly about the same time. It's not the exact same time, but schedules are a little in flux right now for both of us.
And I'm kind of, exactly. At least from my side, among many other things, I don't want to announce it kind of like officially until at least I check the internet connection in a hotel and all that jazz. You never know.
Yes, because that would be the reason why it would not show up next Thursday, is if the hotel internet is just garbage. So
yeah,
that's good. So when do you get there? Now that since we're here anyway, Tuesday?
Sometime next week. I have no idea. At least I know that I'm not. Yeah, I don't know. I have email snoozed for Sunday.
Okay, then we'll find out
Sunday. I
Sunday.
will know when I'm traveling. Maybe it's Monday, maybe Tuesday. Who knows?
Okay, got it. Okay, well that works, and I guess that's it. Right?
That's it,
we're,
baby.
We're done. All right. So we will be back next Friday because you'll be home next Friday.
I don't know.
You're supposed to be.
I have no idea.
We'll find out Sunday.
I'll find out. I think that the conference is on Thursday. If it's Thursday, then I'm back home. Then I will be traveling on Friday.
Yeah. Okay. So we may not be here next Friday. So we'll wing it and see what happens.
Yeah, it's 5 hours, so I will be
Yeah.
here for this. Yes.
Okay. We'll see. We'll wait and see. But the podcast is coming out on Wednesday at 6 a.m. Eastern. So be sure to, if you're into APIs at all, you'll want to listen to next Wednesday's episode, because that's what it's about. All right. Thanks for everybody hanging out for us today. If you've watched the replay, thanks for watching the replay. And we will talk to you hopefully next week.